Hello, I'm Abigail Marquez, General Manager for the City of Los Angeles Community Investment for Families Department. The mission of our department is to break the cycle of generational poverty by building community wealth and creating opportunities for all Angelenos to prosper. Our department was created in 2020 to assist families who are already vulnerable to economic insecurity before the COVID-19 pandemic and are far more vulnerable now. We're proud of the work that we do to uplift communities and offer several programs to help achieve poverty reduction goals for the city. Today, we'll discuss our FamilySource system, which includes a network of community organizations funded by the city to provide a variety of services to families across Los Angeles. I'm pleased to be joined by two phenomenal executive directors. We're joined by Sandra Bryant from All People's Community Center and Margarita Alvarez from Central City Neighborhood Partners. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for the invitation, Abby.
Thank you. So I want to have a conversation with you both. You are really great examples of the leadership that we see across the system through the FamilySource system. And I want to talk about the services that we offer. We know that FamilySource Centers are one-stop centers that offer a variety of services to primarily low-income families. So Sandra, let me start with you. Talk a little bit more about the services and the impact that you see at your FamilySource Center.
So we're excited to be a part of the FamilySource system, and the programs that we provide include childcare, extended care, and we really have a comprehensive after-school program that provides both on-site, virtual tutoring, recreation, sports, social enrichment, but I'm really proud to talk about our College Corner program because I think that's a significant program of FamilySource Center. We help students with their applications, with their scholarships. We help them with their FAFSA. We do college tours, not just for the students, but also for the parents, because many of our students are first generation, and it's important that our parents are able to go and see the college campuses.
Yeah, thank you for talking about the work that we do to impact and support young people. FamilySource Centers really are focused on breaking the intergenerational cycle of poverty. So, Margarita, talk about some of the services that we offer to the adults in the families that we support.
Of course. Our FamilySource Center really focuses to the adults and the family. A lot of times, they're the backbone of the youth. And we have many moms and dads that come to CCMP seeking advice sometimes, or even when there is no food at the table, asking, is there anything that we can support them with, as well as tax preparation. That's one of the biggest things that we've done at our FamilySource Center for preparing and enabling the parents to receive that extra income, ensuring that they're claiming all the tax credits, ensuring that they also get the education they need on how to raise their children and seeing the importance of higher education. Or we also have issues with youth not wanting to go back to high school or completing their high school. So then providing them with the skills and opportunities to be able to do that and empower their children through the adults. So case management, financial coaching, tax preparation, and this year, one of the biggest support systems for our parents is our food services program.
Yeah. And thank you. I know you talked about it, and it really underscores a very critical challenge that we are seeing, not just in the city, but across the region, and that is the issue related to food insecurity. We know that 1 in every 4 households across LA County is struggling with not having enough funding to put food on the table. So talk about the work that you both do and the work that we see across the system to provide fresh food to families that are coming into our sites.
So for us, before the pandemic, we had a food program. We also had a breakfast and lunch program. And when the LAUSD closed for the children, we had breakfast and lunch program for the kids that didn't have enough food at home. But then during and now, our food services program grew from 150 families to now we're serving about 700 families a week. We provide everything from fruits and vegetables. We always make sure that in our bag of groceries that families take, there's fresh produce and fruit so that they have a variety of food as well as beans, rice, pasta. We have a nutrition program that we provide every week for the families so that they learn how to utilize the groceries we're giving to serve a nutritious meal to the families. And that has really helped not only in the nutrition part, but also economically, because now they don't have to think about, do I put food on the table or do I pay rent?
Right.
Or do I pay some of the other bills? And it's my own personal belief that if you have food at the table and if you're not hungry, everything else is going to be easier, a lot easier for the families, because you don't have to worry about what am I going to do tomorrow if my kids don't have anything to eat or my family doesn't have anything to eat. So that's one less worry that now the families may have during this time, because a lot of the families haven't gone back to work in the way they did before the pandemic. So the FamilySource Center really has provided the systems that enabled the families. You know, we talk about cash assistance, but the food is also a form of cash assistance, because you save some of the money, even if you have the money, but it's not enough money. So you save some of the money to be able to do something else.
Right. Yeah, to put that aside for maybe to pay a bill, help with the rent. So let's talk about that. We know that during the pandemic, a number of families that we serve and families across the city fell behind on their rent. They lost their wages because they were either laid off or their hours at work were reduced. And we know that that is still one of the greatest needs that we're seeing, that families are still have either utility arrears or rental arrears. Talk about the relief that you're able to provide families who are coming to you asking for support because they don't have enough to pay their rent or they're behind on their utility bills.
Right. I mean, I think that's something that is a critical service that the FamilySource Centers were pulled into action during COVID. And during that time, we had 50 to 60 appointments a day with individuals who had been laid off of work and could not pay their rent. And as Margarita said, I think the food program was really substantial in terms of helping our families, but more important than that, for those who were afraid of losing their homes, and that fear and that anxiety. So we do provide the rental assistance. And I can tell you about a particular family that I was really proud of our staff and how we work with the family. Mr. Smith and his wife, they have a young child, and he had an accident at work, and he was off of work for a couple of months. He fell behind. And when he came to the center, they were interested in the homeless prevention program. We found out that they did not qualify for that particular program, but our case managers, as Margarita mentioned, they're very resourceful. And so we were able to partner with the chain reaction program that the city introduced us to. We were able to pay the rent for them, the arrears, and then he was able to go back to work. So those are some of the stories that we hear from staff, and how the FamilySource Centers really make a difference, because it's not just one program, it's multiple programs that we integrate together in order to be able to help the families in our community.
That's wonderful to hear. And, you know, we talk about how comprehensive the services are. There really is no other system, not just in the city, but in the county, that offers the multitude of services that we make available. And if we don't have the service in-house, we do a very good job at making connections with our county partners, with our school district, and let's talk about the relationship that we have with LUSD, where we have people service and attendance counselors that are working side by side with us at our FamilySource Centers to help understand not just the academic challenges that young people are having, but working with you and your case managers to help assess what the household challenges may be and how we can best support those families.
Yeah. For us, I was just thinking as we were talking about this, that the FamilySource Centers are really a place where a family comes in and they have hope. They don't, they know that when they come to us, that there's going to be something. Maybe it may not be the problem at hand, but it may be a solution to something else that they weren't thinking about. For our people's counselor with LAUSD, the work that we are doing with them, it's so instrumental to the benefit not only of the child, but the whole family. We have a great relationship with ours at CCMP, and he's very dedicated. And he doesn't only look at the assessment, the school assessment and the educational assessment, but he's really looking at what else. What else is there? And then we have weekly meetings that are joint meetings with all of our partners to talk about those families that may need a little bit more. And that's what's making the difference in that family or the families that we're serving, that partnership, because it's not just how I'm thinking, but it's how somebody else is thinking about the family. Mm-hmm. And the family may tell somebody to the counselor from LAUSD that hasn't told us about. And then we have a meeting and we come together to address the issues mm-hmm. that were raised. And we have so many, or even when he knows what services we have, when he's doing the assessment with the families, he may say, they have this for you. Are you willing to participate in this program? Mm-hmm. So it's being able to know your program so that when he's talking to the family and they haven't met us, he knows everything mm-hmm. about us. Mm-hmm. And it's a perfect partnership because families that feel comfortable with him may not feel comfortable with us, and then he's able to introduce us or vice mm-hmm. versa. Also, sometimes he may talk to other people in other FSCs, and he'll say, oh, so-and-so has this. And so it's not just at our center, but mm-hmm. it's really involving other FamilySource centers in the city that may have a service that we didn't know about, and they're able to then connect us so that we can bring that service to us. Yeah. So it's like a ripple effect of the services and the knowledge that we're able to offer. Yeah.
I love that you describe FamilySource Centers as places that inspire hope and opportunity. So I know you were going to share something,
I was just going to
Sandra.
say, I think that's a great example with the PSAs at our site, because mm-hmm. a lot of times there may be information or resources at the schools, and all of our families are not connected. And one is that the LAUSD provided free TAP cards. And as our PSA worker told us about this, what we did is we said for every intake, for every person that comes in the building, if they have a school-age child, ask them, do they have the TAP card? Because a lot of times there are resources out there, but our families don't hear about them and they don't know. So I think that's why the partnership is so great, because we can connect those families to those resources that are offered by the district.
Yeah. I think you talked about, something that I want to just describe a little more for those people that are watching us today and to learn more about the system. The FamilySource system is that. It's a network of community organizations that are anchors in their respective communities that have the trust of the families and the individuals that we're serving. What's really great about the system, and there is no other system like the FamilySource system, is that we can deliver coordinated resources and information to communities instantly through this infrastructure that we've developed as this, FamilySource system was designed. And I just want to say that, really grateful for the mayor and the city council for recognizing the value that you bring to so many families across the city. Really excited about the expansion of the FamilySource system. We're going to go from 16 locations to 20 locations come January of 2024. And, the funding was increased to provide more support to you and to your staff to serve more families. Already we were serving 40,000 families, unduplicated number of families each year, and we're going to be serving 50,000 plus now because of this expansion. The need is great, and we know that we can have a FamilySource center, multiple centers in every corner of the city. We know that there's such a great need in our city. So let's talk about how you get the word out about the services that you offer. We'll start with you, Sandra.
Well, I think there are multiple ways to get the word out. So we use social media, our Facebook and Twitter, and all of those various technological things that I'm still learning, I should say. But we use the social media. But more importantly, I think word of mouth is our greatest outreach tool. As families come in, we've been in the community for 81 years, so we have a long history and we have the trust of the community. And so they help us with our PSA, working with the schools. They're always letting the schools that are in our area know about the programs and services. And we have a lot of community partners, other community-based agencies, as well as public institutions like DCFS, Department of Public Social Services, and LAPD. When they come across families that maybe have experienced trauma, they'll refer them to All Peoples.
That's great. Margarita?
Yes, so other than this, we also do all the social media, and we have a dedicated outreach coordinator for the FamilySource, and she's very knowledgeable. She's been with us for a long time, and she's always learning about the new programs. She even talks about when she goes to the grocery store on Sundays, people will approach her, and she's like, okay, I'm not working today. But then what she's done is she now carries flyers. And so if they ask her, she'll just give them the flyer. But we also have a group of promotoras, community health workers that while they're not dedicated for the FamilySource, they do other projects for us. But when they're out there, they also facilitate the outreach for families regarding all of our services, not just one specific. And we also have a newsletter that at the moment is issued on a monthly basis, but we're thinking that we can spread it out more. And then all of our partners and community-based organizations. Additionally, we've been doing food services pop-ups. So we go to different areas in our service area, but specific in Council District 1. And so we go there where the families need us for the food. And so out there, we also take our outreach team and they talk about the services that we offer. And word of mouth. And, we ask a lot of times, how do you know about this? Oh, my neighbor told me, or my comadre told me, or a school counselor. So there's different ways in how we do outreach. And we're always, I always tell the team, okay, you guys need to bring in new people. Don't just go to that street or don't just go to that other street, go farther. Yeah. So we also do a lot of outreach with property management companies that allow us to go inside their property manager and talk to the people. In the past, before COVID, we used to be invited to the monthly meetings at buildings. So that was really good because then we knew those families qualify for the program and they were very much in need.
Yeah, that's great.
So we do a lot of that.
And I know that FamilySource Centers also, on top of the work that you do and the services that you provide, you organize a number of community events where you work with council offices to organize resource fairs. We've been to a number of those. Talk about some of those events that are coming up in these next few months.
I think, we do know Thanksgiving is coming, the holidays are coming, and so as a FamilySource Center, we plan a Thanksgiving dinner for the whole community, and we have anywhere from 800 to 1,000 people who come. We serve food all day for families. We work a lot with the council office, as you mentioned, because they do have specific events. They've invited us to also come with the new rental assistance program and to provide those resources. And I also wanted to mention, when Margarita mentioned the newsletter, I forgot to talk about the newsletter. Our newsletter, since the beginning of last year, is actually bilingual in Spanish because we serve a large Spanish population. So all of our flyers and materials are bilingual in order to reach that community. And then if someone doesn't speak that particular language, we have resources to connect with others so that no one feels left out.
Thank you for talking about language access and how important it is to also make information available in multiple languages so that we can reach communities that may not have English is their primary language and still need a lot of assistance and support. So I just want to take the last few minutes to say thank you for joining me today and for the work that you do and the work of your team. You're such dedicated individuals in the communities and leaders as part of our FamilySource system. So just really appreciate the partnership that we have with you and all of the executive directors and the staff at the FamilySource Centers, and know that CIFD is here as a partner and an advocate for the work that you do. So I just want to thank you again for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you. I want to acknowledge our team. I always talk about them and how without them we couldn't do the work that we do. I think all of the FamilySource Centers have very dedicated teams that go above and beyond the work that they're asked to do. You know, a lot of times CCMP buys them lunch because they may not have had time to go out to lunch and like, okay, do we have money from another pot to be able to do this? And so we always come up but we feel that we should be doing something a little bit extra for the team because they're always going above and beyond the work that they're doing. And thank you for having us and the partnership. I've always been able to just call and say, hey, I have this issue. Can somebody help me? And that has always been a great relationship between us and you, the funders. And we don't see you as a funder, but more as a family of people doing good for the community. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I would echo everything that Margarita said. And I think for the city of Los Angeles to know how the FamilySource Centers are not just individual programs or isolated. We are indeed a system that responds to the city every day, but also in crisis. And it's a great thing to be able to provide that for Angelenos.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. And I want to thank the audience for joining us today. To learn about the FamilySource Center locations near you, visit our website at laforfamilies.org and follow us on social media. We look forward to bringing you more of our work as we align community investments for families in the city of Los Angeles and create opportunities for all Angelenos to prosper. Thank you.